What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 39 of The Climb here with Luzenak today. We take on an old friend of the channel, Leon. Yes, of course, a team that last year we did a series with, known as Leon Live. If you've not seen that series, shameless plug right now, it was over 100 episodes long. Every episode was done 100% live. If you're looking for something to binge watch, get your 3 days. I can't recommend it enough. But before you go away and watch episode 1 of that, watch the latest episode of Luzenak, because today we've got a challenge. We've got a challenge and we've got to stop the rot. We started the season last episode with a win against Nancy. The transfer window was, of course, still open. Julien Blaise had departed, and with that in mind, we did end up spending just a little bit of money. Obviously, as I mentioned, Julien Blaise went out. We did also make a few other loanings out and a big sale, which was Bernard Arnault. I've got to say his name very carefully, because that could be said as something completely different. But yeah, Bernard here, 15 years old, we have sold to Lille. He's a good player, but ultimately I don't think he's a £375,000 player. If I am proving to be incorrect, I will publicly apologise and declare my love for Arnold in the streets, but I don't think it is going to be a mistake. And ultimately, it's a little bit of extra cash in the bank that we were able to use to spend on some players, and spend we most certainly have. To be fair, we've not kind of revitalised the team since Julien Blaise's departure. Rather, we've looked to just add in a little bit of experience and one real player of quality. So in terms of the experience, and that's not to say that Willian doesn't bring experience and quality, I suppose. We have here, of course, Willian, 36 years old, recently had his birthday. We got a big cake out for the occasion. Looks like he is going to retire at the end of the year. But in terms of just a bit of squad depth, a plan B to Kahinde, or if Kahinde, dare I say it, was to get injured, I think Willian is perhaps the best suited player to come in and slot in. Slightly different, but equally as creative. So far, only appearances on off the bench for him. Hadara is a player we brought in to be a bit of a squad depth player at left back. Turns out he's really injury prone, and the fact he was retiring at the end of this year isn't just a coincidence. He picked up a sports hernia and has missed a lot of football as of late. Doesn't look like he's going to have a meaningful impact on the first team. And well, we did make one big signing, and that was Nolan Galvez, signed from Sochaux. This is the kind of player I would like to sign going forward. Players who I think have a little bit of potential to be fulfilled, and that I have quite a lot of faith in, sticking with the club regardless of how this season goes, be that us staying up or be that us going down. And obviously with that all said and done, the finance is still very, very healthy. 9.5 million in the balance. We still have a huge transfer budget and wage budget, but with the nature, I suppose, of when the Julien Blaise transfer happened, given the fact I'd already kind of set up the squad for the year prior to his sale, which did just result in him getting loaned back, I wasn't going to just go and spend money for the sake of it. So it does leave us in a good little spot. If we just look at the kind of club overview stuff here, you can see that we are, of course, building a new stadium, but more recently, we've begun work on improving our youth and training facilities. Two things that have lagged a little bit behind as we've climbed through the league, so they're going to be improving. Worth noting, our estimated value has shot up. I often get questions about the estimated value. What does it mean? How is it calculated? And to be honest, it's a combination of factors. It looks at the value of the players at your club, your stadium, your facilities. However, it's not officially supported by Football Manager, the club value stuff, the estimated value. It was actually something that was in the game for a while, a few years ago, got removed, but this skin shows it, so it does just sometimes do some weird stuff. I think we are being grossly overvalued there, but I'm not going to complain. It bodes well for us. And, well, you might have caught at the top here, we have started the season pretty well. We currently sit in 13th, which on the face of it looks great. 10 points from 9 games is kind of what we need. Realistically, 38 points should be enough to avoid the drop, so a point every game. That said, the teams towards the bottom have started very, very slowly. The somewhat concerning news for us is we started okay, and then we've ended very, very slowly. And today things don't get easier. Lyon are in 4th. Against Lille, we did come up with somewhat of a plan B that we'll talk about shortly. This somewhat more, I suppose, compact and defensive system. But before that, let's discuss the games since you were last here. And, well, of course, you can see here we had 2 back-to-back away games to conclude the month of August. The first of which was against Marseille, where, to be honest, their superior quality just showed. And then we took on Rennes, which I felt was slightly more winnable. And we rode our luck. We defended superbly. You can see in the bottom left, they had a lot of chances. It wasn't particularly pretty. And finally, in the 85th minute, via a rebound, they scored. Worth noting that Thomas, in this match, got man of the match. Yes, a goalkeeper getting man of the match despite conceding a goal. That gives you an idea of how much he did. The sad news and the somewhat worrying news for us has been he has been out with a hernia for the past 3 weeks, which I am going to point out does correlate with our recent downturn in form, but I don't think we can use that as an excuse. I don't think Thomas's absence is the reason we've lost 3-0, for example. That's somewhat difficult to justify. The good news is the month of September started pretty well. We got a good little win against Strasbourg. It was a bit of a ding-dong affair. We got a goal right before half-time, a deep free kick pumped forward towards Mercier, who grabbed another goal, and he's been grabbing a fair few of these. Then Kofi was found at the back post with a free header, which was a nice little goal. Unfortunately, they did peg a goal back, but we held on for the win and got a 2-1 win, our second win of the year. We were unbeaten at home and everything was amazing and happy. We then took on Lens, which was a crazy, crazy game. We took the lead in this game. Nuno Cruz with it. Yes, Nuno Cruz has been getting a few goals here and there, rekindling his form, I suppose, of last season. He scored for us in the 47th minute. Ganea then scored for them in the 63rd. It was 1-1 until the 90th minute. They found a way through, and at 2-1, your heart sank. You thought, you know what, this was a chance to get some points. It was a chance to show what we're made of, and we've lost it. But we hadn't. We had not. It's a familiar story. Kahinde over the corner, whipped it into Mercier, who grabbed another goal, back-to-back games where he's grabbed goals. And yeah, we cannot underestimate just how kind of huge Gwendo's contributions have been to the team. He has been a real kind of game changer, the 19-year-old, and he is continuing to improve, which I suppose is the main thing, and is certainly making it hard to drop him, channeling his inner Hugo Robert. Anyway, the next game we had against Cannes was a great result, newly promoted with us. We won this one 4-1. Great to see Campo get a couple of goals in this one. Of course, a player who joined us for £2 million. So far, 2 goals, 6 assists. That is a pretty good contribution compared to some of our other wingers that we'll throw under the bus shortly. A 7.33 average rating for him, and well, it looked good for him. Big Dub also grabbed 2 goals. They were the typical Big Dub scrappy goals, but a win nevertheless. 3 home wins in a row. I'm going to keep bringing up the home form for about another, well, now 0 home games, because the next one wasn't so good. We then kind of found a wall, and we hit it hard. We ran headfirst into a wall. First game we had was against Nantes. We lost this one 5-3. Nuno Cruz, not Hugo Robert, no. Nuno Cruz grabbed a hat-trick in this one. I don't know where. I just have Hugo Robert on my mind, it turns out. But no, Nuno grabbed a hat-trick. Great for him. He has been bagging in a few goals here and there, really stating a case to reinstate his first-team position. Unfortunately, we did concede 5 without Thomas in goal, and it didn't get much better against Nice. The first home defeat of the year. It was 3-0. We were awful, is perhaps the most simple way of describing it, and it didn't get much better against Lille, although we went a little more conservative, changed the system. They got a couple of goals, but we made it close. 2-1 the final score, and you can see in the bottom left, we created chances in this game. On another day, I think honestly we could have found a way through. Yeah, we conceded 2 goals within the space of a minute in the 33rd and 34th minute, but from there we held firm. We got a penalty through Kahinde. Unfortunately, we just couldn't find that breakthrough, and despite a lot of chances as the game went on, it ended in defeat. And well, we've gone away, we've had an international break, and we come back rejuvenated. But the reality is, a loss here, I am going to start to worry a little bit. We started well, and I feel like when you're in a relegation scrap, when you're a smaller team like we are, a team that are just tipped to finish bottom, you kind of ride off morale, you ride off form, and our form has kind of gone away from us. I mean, you can see here, the media now have us in 17th, so they're kind of believing that maybe we could avoid the drop. But their fundamental issue is that we're not really doing enough. I mean, if we look here at the goal scorers, Nuno Cruz is top goal scorer, then it's Mercier. Campo's got 2, Kahinde's got 2, Big Dub's got 2. But I'm gonna point out the fact that the 2 players I would really hope would step up this level haven't done it. Julien Blaise, suddenly for a player we sold for £11 million, seems like a stroke of genius. He has not got a goal or an assist in 6 starts and 3 appearances on off the bench. It's got to a point where I have just started to drop him. The sad news is, for his kind of partner in crime, a player who's followed a very similar career path in Kofi, he's only got 1 goal and 1 assist in a similar number of matches. He is very unhappy about the fact we didn't sell him to Tottenham. I don't intend to sell him. He's not for sale. You know, I've let Blaise go. That was enough for me. He's got a contract for another 8 years. I'm just not going to sell him. He can cry all he wants. He's got to get on with his football. I'm hoping that this is more a reflection of just a struggle to adapt at this level, more so than a reflection of just how negatively his morale is impacting his form. But fundamentally, he's not putting in the kind of numbers he was last year that really excelled us to an unexpected promotion. And without those goals and that kind of level of performance, it's going to be tough this year. We knew it was going to be tough even if he did put in that level of performance, but fundamentally, Kofi and Blaze have kind of just gone AWOL. I do feel like we've been losing the battle in the midfield. It's undeniable the fact that we are just up against it. I mean, if you look at the detailed team stats, we actually have 52% of possession, which is kind of above average. We actually hold the ball okay, but the sad reality is we just don't have the quality of other teams. You can see here the transfer spends of clubs. We actually had the 19th highest spend, albeit we were actually making a profit of 8 million. But when it comes to salary, and post-editing, Jack, please remember to remove your face from this screen here so we can see the value in the bottom right. Our salary per year is 5.25 million. To put that into perspective, Mets, who were promoted with us, is about 3 times higher at 14.37 million. And well, as you look through the league, everyone from Marseille upwards has 10 times or more the spend that we do. In fact, I mean, the most damning, I suppose, example is PSG. They literally spend 50 times more on their players' wages. How are we meant to compete with that? I don't really know, but I will say I do intend to do a game against PSG this season live, and I think it'll be next episode. So if you're wanting to see a pounding, that will be coming tomorrow and potentially today as well, because even though we're at home, Lyon is going to be tough. And well, I'm hoping that we're going to bounce back with some better form. As I said, we have readjusted the system as of late, and this is kind of the team that I'm starting to settle with. Galvez, unfortunately, is suspended. When he's not been suspended, the game plan is to play him at right back and Olawale, who can play at left back, which has worked okay for us, to be fair, although across the board, I do feel like we've struggled in the wide areas, and the wing-back/full-back position really hasn't been an exception there. Of course, with our kind of normal system, the system that I have deployed against weaker teams, we've done okay. Against the bigger teams, though, as you've seen, we've been shipping a lot of goals. We need to make amends, and I think just having an extra body in the midfield, trying to crowd it out that little bit more, is the way to help us just, eliminate the quality of, 2 centre mids, which I think is one of the areas where we've just kind of struggled to contain oppositions. They knock the ball around us, and I'm hoping that by playing slightly more cautiously, playing more direct, sitting deep, trying to leave lots of space up front for our very, very pacey forwards to run onto, we can catch teams out and get some unexpected wins. And that's kind of what we're going for here. I go into this game against Lyon. I don't expect this to be a game that is going to make or break our promotion. I would love some cupcakes right now, apparently. But at the same time, these are the kind of games that going up into a new division are a pretty good test for you. And as I said, I'd like to do next episode against PSG, but the sad reality is, beyond that, a lot of the live comms are going to be the scrappy games against the teams in and around us, the 6-pointers. And so as much as I'm wanting to enjoy these kind of moments, I am mindful of the fact that I do think we've overperformed, shall we say, to start the year. I think the Nancy win last episode and some of the wins we've had in the meantime have kind of papered over some cracks, the cracks that we just don't have the quality that we need really to stay up. I'm sorry if I sound very defeatist. Perhaps it's the fact we've lost 3 games in a row. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to try and find a silver lining. But you'd think with this game here, which is an undeniably kind of very difficult game. Lyon are one of the best teams in Liga in this save game. But, if we can't navigate it through this game, if we can't get a win here, 4 defeats in a row, 10 points in 10 would be kind of roughly in line with what's needed to stay up. But it's going to be tough. I mean, just worth noting, looking at the league, we have already played Lille, we've played Rennes, we've played Nice, we've played Nantes. Mets, who were promoted with us, I think, have we played them? I can't actually. I feel like we haven't. I've got them next. So the form only gets easier for us, really. So, I don't know. After this game, we will have played a lot of the teams in the top half. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a kind of resurgence in form. But this kind of game against Lyon is a big test for us. And to be fair, that's the first highlight of the game, and it's in our favour. The bad news is that 2 of our players have picked up knocks right before half-time, which I am not a big fan of. Now, in this game, we've not created enough, and there's part of me that wants to kind of go for it at 0-0 at half-time. I feel like I'm not going to. Common sense is going to prevail. And we'll move Martinez, I think, out onto the left rather than Blaze, which is an indicator of where Blaze lies in my estimations right now. Of course, Martinez, the new Colombian on the block, who naturally does play out on the left. I feel like we prioritise him over Blaze because he is one of our own players. But I think with this game now, and this is kind of the approach that I need to take more so with these games, I want to play to 70 minutes at 0-0, and if we can make it to 70 minutes with 20 minutes left, then we go for the win. But that's going to be tough. I mean, you can see here, we've not had a shot on target yet, although they've not had many chances either, so we are nullifying teams by crowding out the midfield. This is quite similar to what we did against Lille previously. Anyway, Martinez on off the bench, the number 10. Can he cut inside? Can he cut inside? He tries to bend it towards the back post. Not a bad effort by the number 10, unfortunately, just wide of the mark. But, hey, a half chance, and the first half chance all game. It's been a game bogged down in the midfield. Louis Serre to Big Dub, who's on off the bench. As you saw, he did score 2 goals in Ligue 1. A player who's been with us for a lot of years now. Joined us in, our second season, has played at a number of different levels, and so far has shown that he can kind of hang at this level. I think it'd be generous to say he's good enough for this level, but he can kind of hang. But we are going to be perhaps called into some defensive action here, although they're knocking it around very questionably in the midfield, Lyon. It's certainly not my Lyon team, although Everton bringing the ball forward here. Hits it. I mean, if that's the highlight, I am very happy. Straight at Thomas. He collects. And as I said, if we get to 70 minutes, maybe I think about going for it. There's the voice in the back of my head that says, Jack, just play for the draw. Play for the draw. But I don't think that is a... I mean, when you look at these stats, we've not really created enough. We're kind of trying to hold back the gates. And there comes a point at which you have to accept that maybe we need to go on the offensive. And we have the talent going forward. I actually think going forward we are better than defensively. Well, they've got a chance here. If they've got Trincao playing for them. That's a player we signed for Lyon. Oh my word, the AI's copying me. They've also scored an absolutely insane goal. Francisco Trincao from one side to Everton on the other. And Lyon, you know what? It's taken them 65 minutes, but they do now find themselves a goal ahead in this game. Moreno back heels it. Trincao whips it back post. We've got so many men back there. Unfortunately, Olowale... I think it's Olowale. He's forgotten that he needs to defend, unfortunately for him. Someone should probably remind him of that. Anyway, we are going to mix things up, obviously, at this point. We have to go a little more offensive. I've got one last sub in my back pocket. Campo's been pretty poor out on the right-hand side, so I think with that in mind, we will bring in Julian Blaise out on the right-hand side. I am actually going to shuffle things here. I'm going to move Big Dub onto the right. It's a little-known fact, a long-forgotten fact, perhaps, that Big Dub can actually play on the right wing. So I think we'll play him out wide there, Martinez down the middle, and Blaise in his preferred position, cutting in on that right foot of his, hopefully coming on fresh-legged to, well, cause Lyon some problems. But we need a goal now. If we'd got to 70 minutes, maybe I would have not made the changes after all, but I'm forced into a situation where we do kind of have to go on the attack here. I don't want to go to very attacking. That's absolutely insane. But we do need to up the pressure here. We need to get the ball forward a little quicker. I want us to run at the opposition. We need to distribute the ball quickly. I'm less bothered about us taking shorter kicks, obviously, and I want us to press. I want us to prevent the keeper distributing it, and I want us to get stuck in. And you know what, Suarez? If you get sent off, mate, it's absolutely fine, because I'd rather you get sent off trying to get into the opposition as we chase this game than, well, not going for a tackle because you're on a booking. Unfortunately, I've made all these attacking changes, and in typical Football Manager fashion, there's just no more highlights. It finishes 1-0 Lyon. So it's another game where we've not scored, which is a bit of a downer. That's now 2 home games in a row where we haven't been able to find a way through. That said, it is against a Lyon team who are doing pretty well. The good news is the few players who had injuries aren't out for a particularly long time, which is a bit of a relief. You can see here, Lyon finished second last year, and they finished second, 4 out of the previous 5 seasons. They are pretty good opposition. To lose to them 1-0, I don't think is too shameful at all. It does, however, as I mentioned, bring us now to 4 defeats in a row, and maybe some question marks start to be asked. Looking ahead, we've got Metz who are in 7th next, and then the month of November is going to be Nîmes, Brest, Monaco, and then Saint Etienne opens up the month of December. And well, mark your calendar, get it down, 7th of December, PSG away. The hardest game of the season. I'd like to do it as a live com, because if you could pull off the upset, it's the craziest moment ever. If we get spanked, I mean, it's not entirely surprising, is it? And well, that will hopefully be at a point where I'm starting to evaluate where we are in the league. I feel like at the moment, I'm starting to worry. I think it's... I feel like 13th is a bit generous, considering how we've played. Unfortunately, you can see Nîmes actually won today, so they're getting down our necks. And with our recent form, we are definitely one of the teams on the down. Only Lens make us look a little better, and we actually drew against Lens. Did we draw against the team who haven't won a game yet? We did. Yeah, this is why I'm concerned. It's going to be a long season, I fear, despite a good early start. But as I said, hopefully I'm just being too pessimistic. Hopefully I can go to bed now, sleep it off, come back, get some good results, and I will be happy as Larry tomorrow, where I hope to see you guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Just a little off note, I changed the lighting setup over the weekend. I hope it's noticeable. I hope I look more beautiful than usual. It's probably super minor, but if you thought something looked different or weird, that is why it looked different or weird. But it is an improvement for the better as we continue to push the content well, to higher and better standards. Anyway, that is all from me today. If you've enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. Give me a score prediction for the PSG game tomorrow. If you get it correct, you don't get it. You just get a warm and fuzzy feeling and the right to gloat in the comment section of that video. I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.